Hello and welcome to the USA Global TV and radio show, The Wild at Heart Show, Real Authentic Cut, a show for men, by men, about men. And the topic for the day is what I wish I had known before my age of 30 about life. And it's an amazing topic, a very interesting topic. And it's already, ladies and gentlemen, already episode number 26. We started this journey in May, and time is really running. So if you missed any of the other episodes you're interested in, please go to on the website bonfiretalks.com. There are all the recordings of the previous show. You have there all episodes, and also you can meet and contact all the panelists that's on the show. Meaning when you're first time here on USA Global TV Radio on the Wild at Heart Show, it's not myself only. I have an amazing panelist of different guys from different parts of the world with different backgrounds. First of all, introduce myself. My name is Roland. I'm Roland FRIEDL. I'm the creator and the moderator and the host of the show. The reason for that is besides my business I'm doing since many years, working with international corporations to improve their processes, to make them more efficient, to make them more effective, train their staff. I dedicate my life to men's work and environment. That's why I do this men's show on Wednesdays, and every second Wednesday the Earth show together with my co-host MARCIN, who is also a panelist on the show. So let's start with him. Let's welcome the first panelist, my dear friend from Poland, MARCIN. M.kraszewski.
Hello, Roland. Nice to be here already. And I can see you improving with pronouncing my last name. So thank you for that.
Kraszewski.
Yes, very correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Yeah. Good to have you back on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next guest is from Egypt, my dear friend from the Middle East, Mohamed.Mounir. Welcome, Mounir. We all call him Mounir. There's so many Mohammeds on the world, so that's why we call him Mounir. Hi, my dear friend.
Hello, Roland. Hello, Marcin. Good to have you
Hi.
back. Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good to see you, man. Yeah, the next gentleman is from the UK. Welcome, Big Scott.
Boom, boom, boom. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, man. Great to see you again.
Yeah, good to be back. Nice to see everybody's here.
Welcome in the house. So the next gentleman is from Germany. Welcome, my dear friend Christian. Christian BROSCH from Germany.
Hi, guys. No problems with pronouncing my name, huh?
No, not at all.
Lucky you.
Well, not for me, because German is my mother language. Hi, Christian. Good to have you on the show.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Hi, good to see you. Yeah, and last but not least, we go back again to the Middle East, to Egypt. Welcome our dear friend Hazem.
Hello.
Hazem.Baraka.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
How are you?
Hazem. Hi, good to have
Nice
you
to
back
meet
on the show.
Hello, Hassan.
Yeah, great show today.
Okay, gentlemen, good to have you back. So, gentlemen, today we have the topic, what you wish you had known by the age of 30 about life. I don't know how about you. When I was preparing a little bit for the show, I was thinking about, and actually I had a conversation with MARCIN before. I said, what again? Is it about what I love to learn, or is it something that I regret? So I'm really curious, guys, what it is from your side, what you would wish you have known. Because most of us are just a little bit older than 30. I don't know you. I had my 29th anniversary of being 30. Celebrated in September, so my 29th anniversary. So I'm 58 already. So just short after 30. Guys, who wants to jump in? Anything we said when it comes to your mind, I said, okay, if I knew this earlier, my life would maybe be different or better or go in another direction. Who wants to jump in? Christian, you are unmuted. I guess you jump in.
Okay, yeah, I really hate that I have to start right now, because I'm still trying to figure out about over a week now to go back in my memories. So what I didn't know when I was 30, like going back almost 20 years, as I'm 48 right now. It's really hard for me to figure out which knowledge I gained after the point of 30 and the time before. So I'm really I don't know, in Germany we say ich bin blank, which means like I got nothing to say. I got nothing. I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't figure out what it was before and after that 30 point.
Okay. Well, I jump in, guys. What came to my mind just right now is what I would love to know 28 years ago, in my age now with 58, was maybe I should have worked. I did a lot of sports, but maybe I should have worked out much more, because right now I realize how hard it is to be in shape, and I had a long break because of some operations, and to get back in shape, it's much harder. That's what I realized. So if I wouldn't know this, maybe I would put in more effort in my fitness years ago, and being less lazy. That's what just came to my mind.
I got a point right now.
Please.
Something came up. The thing I realized in about around 30 is that being married is not the only way to have a relationship. And there was this certain kind of setup in my mind that only this way is the right way, like having a woman go to the priest, stuff like that, and having a relationship. And after that, I experienced so many different ways of relationships. I think this I would have liked to known earlier. That would have saved me some money and some trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe I can highly recommend to Christian to go to the recordings of the Mallorca Connection, my show yesterday. I had an amazing interview about relationship, monogamy or polygamy. It was an interesting one. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's a very, very interesting topic as well. Yes.
Absolutely. Big Scott, how about you?
Thinking on it, it's quite a hard thing. So in my 30s, I was still a lost young man, I think. Do you know what I mean? So I think the one thing I wish I'd done in my 30s, because I don't have a full-time career. I gone into a career earlier. Do you know what I mean? I think that was probably a key thing for me. I've sort of hobbled my way through life, but I'm nearly, I'm in my mid-50s. But I'm not getting a pension or anything like that. And I've never been sort of geared towards that. So I think if I'd have looked on that journey a little bit lighter, I'm financially sound, but perhaps looked at finding a more solid career and working my way up, I think, in my 30s, because you're just running around, and I've literally managed to talk my way or walk my way into situations in all my life. I've never been out without work, but to be getting to that age now where I could retire and say, yeah, I've got a nice little bit of money coming in, I think, that's probably something I'd like to have delved more into. But I think that's something that happens when you get a little bit older, because when you're young, you're earning the money, you don't think about saving, do you? So it's just like, you're never going to get old,
Yeah. So you mean to prepare a little bit earlier for Social Security?
Yeah,
meaning having a pension.
Yeah, and looking into it, because we're quite frivolous with money. Do you know what I mean? When we're young, we spend it before we've even got it, or I used to in my days. Do you know what I mean? So, and just learning more about finances and preparing for the future, which it's got to be done at some time, but sort of maybe looked into it a little bit earlier, because then it would be a nice big pot. Do you know what I mean? If they taught you that sort of thing at school, if you started saving from when you were 18, then we'd all be financially sound in our 70s, wouldn't we?
Yeah. If you would have spent less and saved more, would your life be different, meaning less fun?
Oh, no, not less fun at all. It's all a case of balance. But, when you have an abundance, put it away rather than think, oh, yeah, I've got lots of spare money. Let's go and get a swanky car or a top-of-the-range TV or whatever, put it away for a rainy day, so to speak. So them sort of things. And running a household from a youngster. Do you know what I mean? Because you never get really taught that in school. You learn that on the hoof, So,
yeah.
I wanna say something to this one, Scott. I'm it's kind of amazing, because I would turn it exactly the other way around, because I had a certain job. I saved some money and stuff like that until I was around 30. The exact was 31 when I came to mind that this is not my way. By that age, I decided to, I have a job, and but it's not it's not coming from my heart, you know. So I have this security stuff. I have some money on the bank and stuff like that, but I wasn't happy with it. So that was the point. I changed to do what my heart is, or my soul is calling me to, and I know I will always have enough money to survive, because having a place to live is not that expensive. Depending on my I don't know how you call it, the state I want to have, the lifestyle I want to have, but I will always survive. So I let all this go, like saving money for later. I don't know even if there is a later, or how it will be.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah.
That is exactly. So I changed from a safe position of job to something more insecure, but it makes me more happy. It makes me happier and happier.
Yeah.
And here in Germany, I really learned how to do my household stuff like that. I learned cooking in school and stuff like that. I learned that in school, really.
Okay, cool. What came into my mind, Christian, when you talked about I never was a security guy. I never had this. I never thinking about this. But when I think back, we've had known this earlier, I would have had less stress. I mean, I had a cool life, a lot of fun, a lot of spending, earning and spending, yes. But to be honest, cool guy, yes. But here in my bag, I was worrying very, very often. I said, okay, what brings the future? What is when the income doesn't flow like this? Now I'm much more cool. I'm much more going with the flow. I trust more the process. I trust more the universe. I learned, that's what my learning is, that the universe never gives me challenges I cannot handle. If I have to handle challenges I can't handle, it was my choice, but it was not for the universe. That's what I learned. And I would love to learn it much earlier. That would give me less stress when I was younger.
So I think
Mounir.
I can relate to that, actually, if I may. Yeah.
Please.
So because it rings my bell, kind of. I thought what exactly I would want to teach myself if I've met myself from before 30. And yes, I'm past 30 and closer to 40. So the one thing would be I would want just to look myself deep in eyes and say everything is gonna be okay. Don't worry so much. You're gonna do it, you're gonna handle it, you're gonna overcome it. So do not worry, it will pass, everything's gonna be okay. You do not need to be stressed so much about the future. So I think that would be the kind of advice I would give myself from back before. So it's I think it's close to what you, Roland, said about this stressing out about things and not trusting the process and not trusting ourselves even, right? And handling our conflicts and challenges and problems and everything. So yeah, I think with age, in my case, comes this kind of quietness or calmness, let's say, that yeah, maybe it sucks right now, but I already know from the experience that it will pass, and probably I will deal with that.
Absolutely. I mean, the point is, Marcin, what you said is that we are just raised in a culture and in a religion, you know, all this fear-based religion like Christianity, Judaism, and the Islam. It's this one life religion, this fear-based religion, this fear-based society. We don't learn it in the beginning, because if you're fearless and powerful, then you're an inconvenient resident in your country. And that's why they get trained or manipulated, or want to call it, yeah, to have more fear. But the older we get, we find out that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I would search rather in the childhood memories, traumas, and what have our parents have gone through, and it affects how they treated us, and now it affects how we deal with problems, and what amount of fear do we carry. So I would think that it goes even deeper than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Mounir, how about you, my friend? Mounir, are you with us or are you frozen? Oh, now he heard. Okay.
Am I back?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I think it's you know, I did not have the time to think it last week since we have decided on it. So I just started to think about it now, and that the very first thing that came to my mind is that I wish I had more time. So it's something that, you know, it's before 30, and I was always thinking that it's you know, very fast pace. It's a race. I have to do a lot of things at the same time, so I need to reach those kind of things before I even I'm ready for it. So marriage before I'm ready for it. It's a house that I'm not ready for it. It's a job that I'm not ready for it. But I was absolutely happy at that point of time, is that I was that fast, like a train, moving forward with the things. So I think what we were really missing is the wisdom. So wisdom about things that would have definitely changed. If I am now, I would have, you know, listened to my parents more, maybe understand the wisdom that they are coming from, the elder people, that they are not obsolete or just coming from a different century. They have a wisdom that we don't know. And but I don't know. I mean, it's you were talking about spending money. You know, and you know, I'm coming from this multinational organization where we were having a lot of money, and then they were making sure that all the successful people in sales that have a lot of money, they spend it, because if they don't spend it, that means that they won't work. They need to feel their regret. So even if I am the top performer that year, they will fly me out to one of the European countries or the US or something, and will make us a tour for one day and then 4 days free for shopping. And they call it that because unconsciously you do it, you know, in the itinerary. So okay, now I have 4 days free for shopping, and I go for shopping and so on. So it's spending that much money, getting married that early, not understanding myself quite good before I do some choices, you know, making this you know, financial commitment about the cars, about the house, about the things, and thinking that those are the things that will make me happy, and I'm delaying my happiness day after day after day. Once I reach that, I will be happy. Once I settle down in my new home, I would be happy, and so on. And then eventually, you know, you suddenly, when you start to get the wisdom to understand that was yeah, you were chasing, you know, something that really does not exist,
Yeah.
and the happiness comes from within.
Absolutely. 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 But we're always chasing the solution. But what you said, Mounir, when you talked about wisdom, yeah, I mean, wisdom comes from experience, knowledge plus experience, and we have to have our time, and we have to make an experience. We have to get older and make our own experience, because otherwise we don't believe what our parents or grandparents are telling us. We have to make our own experience, yeah, and it takes time. Absolutely.
This is I mean we reached almost to the same conclusions when they were saying, you know, happiness is not in the thing, so don't overspend, save some money. And I was, you know, I remember, you know, one day when I got my first credit card, and I went to my dad and I was saying, you know, hooray, I have my credit card. And he said, what is that? And I started explaining, and he said, you know, get me the scissor and cut it. That's you spend only when you have the money. And I was, you know, you're too old. When I was in the UK, I mean, if I get cash out of my hand, they will look it, they will check it, and so on. But if I get the credit card out, they swipe it. Everything is okay. I'm a modern person now, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. But let me tell you, one day I had 32 cards, 32. And my debt burden with the credit cards was 120% of my income. So I had money more than what I can spend. I needed to have, loans in order to be able to pay for the minimum of my credit cards. And I was not really, at that point of time when I started, and when I was having all those credit cards and so on, I did not believe what the wisdom that was he having and trying to convey to me. But unfortunately, reckless, young, feeling that I control everything and I can do it. That's me. That's my money. I made it up. I can spend it whatever I wish. And then suddenly, after long years, a lot of suffering, I came back to see, I get the Caesars and cut all this, and I only have now 2 or 3. So that's just for the thing. And this is what I'm saying, is that it takes a lot of time to create that. Although it is there, if we only had the mindset to listen and understand the wisdom behind the things, that would definitely be a lot more better.
Yeah, but sometimes we have to touch the hot oven that we believe it's hot. We're just telling us, yeah, okay, but sometimes we have to touch it, make our experience. Hazem, you're quiet. You look so serious. What comes to your mind?
Yeah, actually, lovely stories, guys. I'm amazed, and such stories. And I want Mounir to give us some of his credit cards so we can spend.
Yeah, I'll help him. Yeah,
we can help you, Mounir. Yeah, actually, what pops into my mind when I reach the 30, and is it the 30 we're speaking about, right? Or 40 or 50? 30?
Yeah, whatever. What you would have loved to know earlier.
30, yeah. 30, it's a milestone for me because I got married at the 30, and I actually, my first marriage, and I had no plan to do this. I was just finishing my master's MBA, Master's in Business Administration at that time at year 2000. And one of my colleagues, my first marriage, we were in a relationship, and then she asked me to, okay, come visit the old traditional way in the Eastern, in the Middle East. Come visit us at home, then get your parents. Okay, I told her no commitment because it's too early for me. I don't want to get married now. Okay, just come and visit and let's the parents see each other. And then I took my father and my mother and to check the other family, a lovely family actually. And all of a sudden my mother started speaking about an engagement, and I was just warning her, don't open the subject, we're gonna meet this family, that's it, no commitment for a marriage. And then she was speaking and reading some the Quran or something like this in order to make an engagement, and I was shocked. And here it is. I'm after a couple of weeks, I'm engaged and then married. And actually, I didn't enjoy freedom. 30 is too early for me. I didn't build my career. I didn't do whatever I want to do alone first. We need peace of mind. We need space in order to create and develop our characters and make our life moving in the right direction. Anyways, that's it. It was a short memory that pumped into my mind now, but here it goes now.
Actually, I can very relate to it, what you just said, Hazem, because I was just thinking about my first marriage and my kids, and I said, was it too early? And to be honest, to be married, for me, it was too early too. I was 26 or something like that, or 25, 26. For me, it was much too early.
20. I got married at 20.
Then,
Oh,
oh my gosh.
and I'm the one that saying 30 is come on. So we have Big Scott 20 here. Yeah.
20, yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to hear more about that, Big Scott. But what I want to say is, but I'm happy that I started very early to become a father, because now my kids, they are 32, 29, 25, so they're out of the house. I can live my own life and be free, with all the experience I had, with the income and everything. So I can absolutely enjoy life. I don't have to look about a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a teenager and get frustrated with them, with the new generation. That's but marriage would be later. Yeah. Scott, would you with the knowledge you have now, would you marry at all or later or not?
I wouldn't fucking do it at 20, I can tell you. No. Yeah, the one thing I'd probably say to my younger self is there's plenty of time for that. It's the stereotypical thing, as you're saying, with cultural appropriation and whatever. You finish school, you get a job, you get married, you have children, you have a car, house, family, blah, blah, blah. You don't really need any of that until in your 30s. Explore a bit more, go out and explore the world a bit more, find yourself before you even think about finding somebody else. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So just go out and explore and take a lot more advantage of a lot more of the opportunities that you tend to think, oh, what am I? You beat yourself up when you're younger, and I teach myself, don't beat yourself up so much. You're a lot better than you think you are.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I always tell my 3 boys is, because I know from my own experience, we want to grow up very early. We want to have a driving license. We want to go out. We want to have a driving lesson, have a car, be free. We want to travel. We want to have our own income, our own apartment, blah 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 blah. To be independently, but mostly we don't are independent. We are caught in a trap because we get married. So we get from one prison to the other prison. That's what I always say to my kids. Take your time. Don't hurry. It's not, your career is not running away. Make your experience, travel the world, learn other cultures, stay open, learn languages. Absolutely. But I did it. Besides my marriage, my first wife was a little bit pissed off because I went back to the university when my first son was already born. I disappeared for 1.5 years. I went to Spain for the other university. I did my studies there. So, but it was too early anyway. Any other guys? Any other things that came to your mind, guys, during this conversation when I said, okay, if I knew this earlier, it would be different? Marcin, you're shaking.
Yeah, well, I just feel like I want to add to the discussion about the marriages, as just to show a possible perspective, as well as I totally respect your experiences, and I can see that in many times making this decision too quickly, or out of the social standards, pressure, close ones, and just because things should be like this, for sure it's not a very good motivation. But I cannot totally agree with the saying that you need to just be with yourself for at least 30 years, find yourself, because the relationship will slow you down, or that's the notion that I had. And to be completely honest, I'm very happy that I was married in the last year before my 30s, because I was having like a goal: either I will be single for life or I will find someone before my 30 years. So, and I did it. But I would say that I achieved a lot more now that I'm married, as be without the support that I'm getting. Um, Personally, financially, but also just wholeheartedly, that I can count on another human. I would say that my career now would be in a different place, because I would not be able to achieve so much. And I can, from my experience, I can tell the marriage is not like one drug for everyone, for sure. I'm just sharing my own perspective that my life was a little bit bumpy before I got married. I did some stupid and non-standard things, and after that, I can feel that having this anchor beside me, it is a happy anchor. So it helps me actually to, yeah, I think become more of myself. So it's just another perspective.
Well, but it's a good one, you know. I mean, the best that you can happen is when you're married, it becomes a booster or a catalyst and being better, and not a pain in the ass that some of us experienced.
Yeah, and well, if you speaking to the public, if you do not want to get married, I'm not going to force you because probably for me the marriage itself, it's something, but also the relationship with a human being that is my wife. It's important. So I would just I reacted to the notion that maybe we should stay alone so long in order to get money, get the business, get everything. Well, being alone, it's very hard to achieve so much sometimes. So we need to have someone sometimes.
Yeah, man, there's a saying, you know, behind a successful man, there's a strong woman. Yeah,
Oh man.
absolutely. If there is one, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not so easy, not so easy. I mean, I really was thinking all the time of what you have known earlier, but I think life like it is okay with all the up and downs. And if I wouldn't make the mistakes or wouldn't step into a trap, maybe my life would be different. But I don't know if it was better or not. No idea. No idea. I guess the present moment is the summary of all the decisions we made or didn't made in the past, isn't it?
Yeah, and the sum of variety
Of course,
of
and
different
this is something, you
things.
know, when I
Please.
I'm sorry, Marcin. I think it's a little bit lagging of my network here, but it's of course, Roland. When I think about it, you know, for example, asking my why didn't we have, you know, why didn't I met someone before that would have made the life much more perfect, or that I have taken this decision or did not take this decision that would have made my life is better, but definitely not. I mean, we will not think it this way if we don't pass through the past experience. So it would have been totally different experience, not better, not worse, but it would be totally different experience, and we would not have the same feeling about the things or the people around us like we feel it now, because we did not pass the experience that we have made the mistake before. So it's all consequence, yes.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, what just came to my mind, and I'm really interested in your thoughts, is actually when I think about this topic, I mean, it's just this typical Western cultural topic. Should we look back in shame and guilty to regret something, maybe could something better? No, not at all. No. I mean, when I look at it, to be honest, when I should think about it, this topic is a little bit weird.
Well, the thing
What do you
is
think?
you can't change anything. You can't change your past. Do you know what I mean? And I am, as you were just saying, we're all byproducts of our past. So you can't change it. And we can look back and say, oh, well, I wish I'd have taken that decision or that decision. But if it did, I wouldn't be here. You know, I wouldn't have beautiful children, grandchildren. I wouldn't be picking up an award at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? Because everything has happened for a reason. And in a way, as much as I haven't had a structured career, I've had such a varied career, and I can look in my front room and I've got a wall full of trophies. You know, I'm gonna have to dust it off to put another one on at the weekend, you know. So I've done something in my life, and I just
So
think kind of wish
posh.
to grab I wish I'd have just sort of grabbed the bull by the horns a lot earlier, I think. Do you know what I mean? We stop ourselves from doing things on the basis of how we fit in the world. So yeah, I just wish I'd have grabbed it a lot quicker.
I think it's the best way. I've tried it several times, you know, thinking of I should have taken this decision and so on. And then suddenly I realized that back then, when I took this decision or took this step, it was the best viable option. Now it's different because now I'm different. the world is different. Things have changed in a different way or moved in a different way. But back then, it was the best option that to have. So now,
I'm just thinking about what do we gain out of it when we look back. You know, it doesn't make sense. The only thing we could do is, but I also question this, is giving advice to the younger generation. But as we came across, we have to make our own experiences. So why should we give an advice to the younger generation and say, okay, before you're 30, do this and this and this, because I have this experience now in my 50s or 60s. It
But
doesn't make sense.
The irony of the situation is we had people our age telling us at that age, and we were like, what do you bloody know? Do you know what I mean? And now we're sat here thinking we're going to preach to the next generation, and they're going to like, you were born old. Do you know what I mean? They don't realize that we were teenagers once, you know? So.
My stepson is 11, and each time I tell him anything, he said, Mounir, you are literally from the last century. And he looked at me and then, sorry, I'm not buying it.
Well, maybe that's the way the things go, usually for centuries and for generations. So it's always like this, that the youngsters are complaining about the old people and old people are complaining about the youngsters. And whenever I hear of myself or others to say, yeah, these young people right now, it's just the blasphemy or whatever, I would ask, all right, and what have your parents thought about you at this age? Wasn't that the same? So maybe each generation is making like a more progress towards a certain values or qualities, but at the end, we are just, in the loop, like in continuous loop. But actually, Roland, when you ask this question, why do we bother to just fantasize about what could we change, even though we cannot? I thought maybe we are doing that just to feel more comfortable with ourselves now. So asking myself this question, would I change anything? And when the answer appeared, no, I think I would not. It actually suits me for now. So it helps me to live through this moment with this contempt, with this thought that actually, yeah, I did it right. At least I did it myself and my way, right? So don't we do? I think we are just talking about that now.
And
I've got
in fact, Marcin, it's all about learning from the past, learning from the history. We see this, and we learn. We see how I myself, I found Churchill at the World War II is a legend, and the way he was thinking and the tea and taking the decisions and so on. That for me is something. And so anything that we learn from the past, even if it was when the time was black and white, or there is no colors in the movies, it's at the end of the day we learn about something about our present and our future. It's just a different representation of it.
I have a very quick confession, but you guys don't laugh. Okay, I've lived my life in the teenage and in the 20s and the 30s and even in the 40s, very conservative. So I go out and I have fun, but I don't smoke, I don't drink. So I regret this. Look, Roland is shocked. What are you saying?
No. I'm still shocked because I realized, fuck, I'm from the last century. When you shocked me, I'm not from the last century. My goodness, a dinosaur.
Yeah, we all are actually.
You all are from the last century. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I have one more point that came up.
Please.
I'm sorry, Christian, go ahead.
When I was spending some time right now and thinking about this, what did I wish to know? And something that came up quite strong is I would have loved to know before how fragile people are. I think that would have made me a little less rude in my younger age. I think I was like, yeah, you're not my kind, go away, stuff like that. So I was quite black and white thinking. And from my now standpoint, I would say yes, this would be something I would have loved to know before, because sometimes you can change a whole life with only a few words, and a lot of people, they don't really watch what they're saying. So this is one of the points. Yeah,
the power of communication or miscommunication.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even the single words that can matter to someone. Yeah, that strikes me.
Yeah, I think as men, we needed to be a little bit more sensitive to other people's emotions, I think is what we're trying to say there. Do you know what I mean? So
what's that?
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, we don't do that. And then when you get in your 50s, if I watch Bambi now, I'd probably cry my eyeballs out. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Back then you had a secret to you, whereas now you're just like, who gives a shit? Pass me the hanky, you know. So
I was the same, Big Scott. Never showed any emotion before. And when I see a romantic movie or a band or whatever, I cry in tears like crazy. I shake and everything, really. But a friend of mine, a doctor, she said, yeah, because when you show emotions on a movie, it doesn't affect you. You can do it. It has no effect on you. That's nothing said about you. Yeah, but most men do this. Most men have really tears in their eyes when they watch a movie, but they don't show any emotion in their relationship.
I've got something in my eye.
Now, for me, it was different. So I was so sensitive from the, I'm a highly sensitive person. So I'm diagnosed as a highly sensitive person. So all my life, I felt animals and people and so on too much, but I was afraid to show it. And I felt so vulnerable to show that I do have emotions and so on. And I was crying from inside, feeling bad from inside and so on. And I tried to show the other way around. And also one of the things that my parent, taught me wrong is that there is this kind of idol father, and the right figure for the father and right figure for the husband and so on, so that I can be an idol and perfect in everything that I do as a husband and as a father. And I was always trying to do that, showing perfection, showing that I am the best one to be taking care of that. And I forgot myself as a human being. And that was totally wrong. I wish at that point of time, I would have said to myself, you can cry, and anyone can feel that you're fragile. Thank you so much. This is your opinion, but this is who I am. And I would tell the people my emotion without, being afraid that I would be interpreted not as a man, or men do not cry, and so on. Those silly things that I learned it at the age of 46. I was the first time I did communicate my emotion with my kids, not showing them that I am the idol father. It was like 47 or something. That was too long to show them that. And since then, I think our relationship are much more better than it used to be, because there is nothing called perfect or idol figure.
Absolutely, because talking about your inner world is the start point for intimacy. Gentlemen, we're coming to an end. So suppose that this show of this dinosaurs from the last centuries is also, we have a younger audience. A quick statement, any advice for young people?
Yeah, I got one. I learned. Oh, sorry, Big Scott. You first.
Don't listen to old people.
yeah. Christian?
Okay, something I would have learned is don't chase women, attract them.
Okay, don't chase women, attract them. A good one. Mounir?
I would go for be happy. Our mind always take the don't and they start doing it. But let's be positive, just be happy. Live your moments.
Thanks. Hazem?
I would say don't put barriers to yourself and to your mind. Just be free and live the moment.
Thank you. Marcin?
I would say try to know yourself, because you are with you for the whole time, and it's going to be a long time. But do not get angry or confused if you do not have a clue about that. So it will come when it will be needed. So do not worry so much.
Absolutely. So I just want to say what Christian said. Don't chase them, attract them, but also don't take life too serious, because one day we all gonna check out, and when we check out, we also check out with all our fears, with all our debts, with all our shit. We check out with everything, so nothing is left. Don't worry. Be happy. Thanks a lot, gentlemen. Thanks a lot.
We are gonna die.
We all die.
Yeah.
Actually, the shit is dying. We are immortal beings, but our shit is dying. So don't worry. Be happy. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your contribution. It was an amazing conversation. And to the audience, please contact us on bonfiretalks.com. You see all the recordings, all episodes, and you can get in contact with all these amazing gentlemen. Thank you, and see you next week. Same time, same procedure. Bye-bye.